This is a primer episode for Session 14 of my ongoing Shadowrun 4th Edition campaign, and it serves to inform you, the viewer, of actions which took place between sessions. For starters, Chauffeur is no longer with the Four Horsemen, at least temporarily, but possibly permanently. He sent a cryptic message to us all about needing to withdraw from the shadows to resolve his affairs. The whole incident involving, being chased through downtown Seattle, nearly dying, flinging himself into extraterritoriality, and getting caught and interrogated by Rinraku has resulted in a massive debt that he needs to work to repay, which he's not going to be able to repay within the shadows, so he has to take to doing other things. Besides, he's earned himself a nemesis from Lifebeat who's off in pursuit of him. We won't know the full story about him until time passes, some dice rolls are made. I don't know whether we'll ever see Chauffeur again. He might never return to us. Sivarous is still in the game, though. He's got a new character, which you folks will be seeing in Session 14. It was the first time any of us players encountered him as well. Sivarous really kept things under wrap for the reveal. Which, on the one hand, does make it hard to assist and provide, help for creating something, but on the other hand, preserves that surprise of what's in the box. And it's entertaining. I certainly got a great laugh. So that's one event which occurred. Another event which occurred is Dream. Well, we'll have the Discord log speak for itself. Dream is looking to take the fight to the enemy, as Joseph Redfang requested during Session 12's job. He has a plan he will craft and carry out in the downtime against Lifebeat Industries, the corporation responsible for targeting and destruction of Glamour Gold plants, along with it being a direct competitor to Sun Temple Agriculture. While Dream will insist on compensation for this plan, should it prove to at least be partly successful, his primary motivation is not Nuyen. It's an expression of his vindictive nature regarding the past two sessions, along with a vested interest in making a positive impact within the Seattle Metroplex, or at least a big impact. And he's going to sink, and he has sunk, his fortune into this. His overarching plan was to destabilize Lifebeat's economy and personnel within a short time frame, the likes of which they wouldn't be able to immediately recover from. Obviously, Lifebeat is a single A corporation. The efforts of a single individual of Dream's size and power, and I don't just mean physically, is not going to do anything more than give Lifebeat a bloody nose. Stagger them a bit, distract them, but it will piss them off. It's not going to ruin them. Dream understood that coming into this, and I understood it as well. I pinged Fluffy to have Chip dig into identifying things involving Lifebeat, and he did do that for me. He got a large chunk of employee information, bank info, SINs, where they come from, home addresses, positions in food chains, and revealed further details about Lifebeat. A nice summary from Austin, which Fluffy copy-pasted into the rest of chat, which you can pause and read at your own leisure. Springing on board from that information, along with some other details, Dream got to work with crafting his plan. Dream hired teams of Shadowrunners using non-explosives to disrupt buildings that Lifebeat had within the Seattle Metroplex area. Instead of explosives, demolisher nanites within spray cans. Smart demolishers, even. I think, or maybe just normal demolishers. We'll find out as I scroll further through the log. And basically, these demolishers work to devour a building material, and thus can be sprayed, can be applied in a subtle manner, and then may not be noticed until it's too late. I'm pretty damn sure with smart demolishers, because demolishers really have a limit on what they can eat, whereas smart demolishers keep going with the material they're set to. And as for personnel, Dream wanted people captured And so he hired separate teams to capture people and provided patches to make those capturings a piece of cake. 2 patches of EX, the Awakened Galak, which is a stronger version, more potent than EX. And then Gamma Scopolamine, which effectively can act as a truth serum to allow for interrogation. And this is a resolution of the initial backbone of the plan before I further fleshed it out. Dream, doesn't expect total anonymity, complete secrecy, or 100% success rate. Willing to invest 150,000 of his own new yen, but banking on Sun Temple Agriculture compensating for at least 50,000 of that. Again, not doing this for money, but as an expression of his vindictive nature, and also to affect change within the entire Seattle area, and possibly beyond that too. The consequences of this were not really... Dream couldn't fathom the scope of what happened. And you'll see the effects of that not just in Session 14, but moving on throughout the campaign. Excuse me. Another reason behind why I decided to take this action is, Dream has no idea what to do with all his money, and it really fucking spooks him because he's just a troll from the Redmond Barrens and he isn't equipped to handle all of this new yen. Especially after the Kraken job. He got paid more for that than I've been paid in the entire Shadowrun campaigns. This has been a Monty Hall campaign. Big dreams, big new yen, lots of stuff to spend, and it's created windows of opportunity. Chauffeur has lost so many vehicles over the course of the game, and he's still, making money. I've offered to contribute, Fluffy's offered to contribute to a Get the Wheelman New Wheels fund, and he's like, no, it hasn't been necessary because of how much new yen we've been making, which is obscene. We have been amazingly successful Shadowrunners who have been able to accomplish so much and get paid so much, but when you get paid that much new yen, one of your reasons for doing work is removed because you're not being pressured by money. And so we worked on finding other reasons why people would care about doing jobs. But that just delves into, another reason behind why specifically I'm doing this. It's to burn new yen. And affect the campaign world through doing so. Okay. So, Dream, I wanted to get a handle on how many Shadowrun teams Dream might attempt to hire. And so how many Lifebeat Industries are there in the Seattle Metroplex? And there's a dozen of them. Some, they all have varying amounts of security. Some are worse than others. I'm like, okay. I can get 6 cans of Smart Demolishers at 60,000 new yen total. Hiring 6 teams then. And, solo folks. So really, the teams, we're calling them teams, but it's really individuals, maybe duos. Offering them a nice payday for those people to infiltrate next to a building. They can be spotted, on their way in and on their way out, but they cannot be spotted during their actual application of the Smart Demolisher spray can. And it has to be done within a 4-hour time window. That way, Lifebeat's assets can't compensate for the destruction, the eroding of these buildings. And so, the job, pretty simple. Just get the dose of the building and flee. And Dream ends up paying those 6 teams $5,000 a pop for that. And he spends more, providing the Smart Demolisher assets for that. He ends up warning them that Lifebeat Industries does employ a cabal of blood mages, although he's specifically targeting the buildings that are the least protected among Lifebeat's assets in the Seattle Metroplex area. There's no guarantee that information will be valid. Things could change, and so, do with this information what you will. You take this risk upon yourself. Don't come back to me being like, you motherfucker. Blood mages. How could you? Dream ends up with money left in the war chest. He needed an extraction destination, so he goes to Claymore and gets a place and earmarks Nguyen to ensure that he gets that place. Money for the inconvenience of that. Every person that gets captured has 4 DMSO patches applied to them, Galak and Gamma Scopoline. And they also have a lace cigarette waiting for them. Basically 500 Nguyen per person that he's capturing. For the patches, for the lace cigarette to help people forget. Good times. And, maybe a few gooey bars or metal restraints. That's right, Train. He also captures an entire train. So Dream gets 20 people captured. He reaches out to 4 teams, gives each team 5 names each. Extraction has, a reasonable amount of money paid per person captured. Dream can tell them exactly where those people live, as well as their schedules, during the 4-hour window that he needs these people captured and delivered to him. And, provides the patches to allow these people to easily be pacified and delivered to Dream as well. Targets should be employees of the 6 buildings that aren't about to suffer total structural collapse, in a smattering of folks from all fields with a focus on middle management. He didn't expect great amounts of information, no grand secrets that would save Christmas. Instead, it's partly an intimidation effect. It's, look what I can do to these motherfuckers, Lifebeat, and they'll never remember. So lace cigarettes they have a short-term memory loss whenever you inhale the drug. And that memory cannot be recovered through any means. It's explicitly provided, in the text for that. Not even magic. It's irrevocably destroyed, those memories. And so that's an important part, considering the Awakened assets Lifebeat has at their disposal, to ensure they don't just, dig into these people's brains and find out, greater details about who kidnapped them and why, what questions they were asked, all that sorts of shit. He ends up not leaving each survivor a bit of signature. That's just too damn suicidal. Austin agreed. So that didn't have to be done, as amusing of an idea that it was. So that ends up being done. And he ends up spending the rest of the war chest for extraneous expenses, anonymized comm codes, courier deliveries, to ensure that those DMSO patches and the smart demolishers get to where they need to be sent. Any other expense that could be covered under the moon and stars, just shoveled it in there, 150,000 Nguyen, done and done right. Swept aside, taken care of, great. What anything else that could possibly left over should be enough for some media focus. Media attention to ensure that the news is looking at these buildings or paying attention to Lifebeat through cryptic messages right before the incidents start happening. And then to have them pay more attention after a severely edited series of interrogation questions and answers is released after a week, and it hits the major media outlets to cause a stir and commotion to see what the hell happens. A Dream again trying to affect change, trying to derail Lifebeat. They're going after Glamour Gold. Glamour Gold is a good thing. Lifebeat has toxic shamans and blood mages. Those are awful. He's anti that shit, along with a bunch of other Awakened things. So chop them down. He doesn't consider the long-term consequences overly much. He just goes through that. So yeah, there ends up being information that comes his way, which I will share with you folks now. We have a document for Lifebeat itself, relevant allies and enemies. Relevant allies and enemies include Nightmare, the immortal vampire of Redmond, who was dealt with by unknown outside forces and believed to be dead or so far underground that even Barrens regards him as a non-threat. There's Lindvik Hirosen, the Elf Lord of Sun Temple Agriculture, who has taken a non-aggressive stance against Lifebeat. despite Lifebeat's actions towards Sun Temple agriculture. This Lonvik, it's a change in leadership. And let Lifebeat win, being Sun Temple Ag's policy. We have Caleb the Master Mage, who interfered with our last job. Catches Skyfire, not our last job, but 2 sessions ago. Catches Skyfire, who interfered with our last job. Shadow's Bane, who is currently spending time down in Pagoda. Possibly having told the Baron to fuck off. And he'll be in South America. He'll be out of Seattle for quite some time. Who knows where the hell Chauffeur's travels are going to take him. As for their projects, Glamour Gold is Lifebeat's prime directive, to destroy it. They've been experimenting with human and paracritter augmentation and breeding. Their most successful creation being the Dracolope. They've got a wing devoted to the research of the fluctuation in mana levels. They do a lot of talismongering as well as spirit selling. Oh boy, great fun. What a corporation to piss off, especially for someone who's non-awakened, right? In addition, we have a small dossier on Baron Samdi, as told by the people that I captured and interrogated. Again, they're not going to have, incredible insights into the inner secrets and nuances of the man, but they do, based on reputation and being around him and being in Lifebeat, they do have some knowledge. Samdi, of course, being an amazing practitioner of magic, operates only Shadow's Bane as a guard, and even then only rarely. Samdi just doesn't really have a problem with people trying to directly kill him because he's too damn good. He's got a physical transcription of Dunkelzon's will in his desk. He's got a decanter of rum, which is his most potent magical talisman. No one's ever seen him sleep. His hobbies are oriented around the supernatural. If he's got vices, they're not known by his underlings, other than his deep interest in the supernatural and Dunkelzon's will. Yeah. So, what a great person to piss off. Am I right? The consequences of this are going to be covered at the start of Session 14 in the news. And you'll see the consequences being reflected upon Dream as well. Yeah, it's one hell of an action to take. Burn through tons of Nuyen to effect change upon the game environment. And see what the fuck happens. One thing's for sure, Dream's not fucking prepared for it. Lord knows he's not prepared for it. Whew. I mean, how could a troll from the Redmond Barrens possibly be prepared for the consequences of his actions in targeting a single A corporation? On his own, really. Outsourcing the work, but masterminded by him. For him? To be vindictive, everyone. I hope you feel informed and possibly anticipatory of what's about to come. I can understand why you might feel turned off that a player character was able to do so much to a corporation. Not a AAA or even a AA, but a single A still. I can understand that being disconcerting. But don't worry, Lifebeat's still alive and functioning. And Baron Samdi is very well and undoubtedly pissed. There is a pinned message in our... Yes, that I wrote, that Austin penned. So yes, Fluffy, Lifebeat's been slowed. But if anything, your boy Samdi is pissed. Take care.